if you don't mind, I'm going to do a little interview with you here.
Oh my gosh.
So, but don't pay any attention to it. Anyway, here we are with Evelyn Osell Harmon. And what's the date today? April 20th, Thursday, 5:26 p.m. Okay, I'm just going to let this run, so because I can't remember anything. So tell us about Tensie, where you ran into her.
Oh, yes, she, I had not seen Tensie for maybe 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
And never
really?
Talked to her either. Because she was with a different crowd than what we were with.
Yeah.
And must have been when Charlie passed away, I think. She contacted me.
Oh, yeah.
And since then, she calls every blessed day, and sometimes she calls twice a day.
Is that right?
And we talk. If she gets any news from Maine, she talks to her brother in Caribou.
Oh, yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah.
And if he hears, and if she tells him anything new, she tells me.
Yeah.
So.
Where does she live, Tensie?
She lives up in Tatnick Square. She is on welfare, so she's in a place where they're all
subsidized housing. You know.
Yeah. She's been there. What did she say? 18, 19 years in the same place.
Oh, you know where that is?
Mm-hmm. It's
What's the name? What's the name of it?
Mill Pond. She's on Mill Pond Road.
Okay, the one that goes by, goes down by Coast Pond.
There's a there's a lot of buildings right there.
Oh,
it's between Pleasant Street and Mill Street.
Okay, on the left-hand side.
And it's quite a. I think there's over 100 apartments in different buildings around. You know.
Well, we're on the subject now. You know, whenever I travel anywhere, we try to do little oral histories on everybody that came from up there. Like with you, but who else do you know of in the Worcester area here that we might talk to?
I talk to Geraldine a lot. You know, Pastor Bergquist is in the Lutheran home.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't know he was in there.
Yes.
Oh, he's living in there now?
He's in there.
Is he in bad shape? He is?
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
He's been in the hospital 3 times this winter.
Oh, boy.
And the last time he was in, they put him in the Lutheran home.
So I suppose he's on oxygen all the time then, is he?
He has been for 5 years.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Gee whiz. And he's not well at all, huh?
No. She said, I talked to her yesterday afternoon, and she said that he's failing, and his mind is going.
Oh, really?
Yes. They noticed that after he came home from the hospital the last time.
Oh, yeah.
She said, the boys said, too, he isn't the same. Something's wrong. I think medication after a while.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Will do that, you know.
Yeah. And maybe just lack of oxygen, too, going to the brain, you know.
That would be, yes.
Yeah.
That's why he had to be rushed to the hospital. He was gasping for breath. He had trouble breathing.
Oh, boy.
I guess his lungs are all gone.
Now, where does Geraldine still in the same place?
Still right off Bergquist here, right by the church.
And what's her address? Do you
Paul Street.
Paul
Street.
Oh, Paul Street. You know where that is? Right off Bergquist?
You know the Episcopal churches. Yeah, well, you go in that street there, and she's the first house on the right behind the church line.
Okay.
Yeah. We went by Zion Lutheran Church yesterday. We were over that way, so it's right near there then.
No, actually it's right off Bergquist, just before we turn down.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe I'll give her a call, too.
I talked to my pastor today, Pastor Babe.
Oh, yeah.
He was going to come this afternoon and give me communion.
Oh, really?
And he called this morning and said, oh, I've got such an awful cough. He said, I don't want to come up and cough on you.
Oh, yeah.
So he asked if it was all right if he waited till Monday.
Sure.
He sounded like he had a terrible cold.
You don't get out to go to church then for communion anymore?
No, I haven't been to church for a long time. No, it's
too much getting around,
It's too hard to walk, and Beverly said she'd come and take me, but she lives in Shrewsbury.
Yep.
And she'd never come back and stay here. The hour, it's less than an hour sometimes in church.
Yeah.
She'd go all the way home, just get home, have to turn around and come back. No,
well,
I said, I don't expect that
You could take her to church with you. That'd be a surprise.
No, she never was a church goer. No.
Well, so you don't get out too much then?
Oh, no. Very, very little.
Gee, that's too bad. How long? For quite a while now? You've been...
Last summer, I don't think I was off the yard all summer long.
Oh, my goodness.
I was down to Shrewsbury. Dana has her birthday in June, Beverly's girl.
Yeah.
So we were always down there, but I was down there for Easter, Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But I used to do an awful lot of walking around here.
Yeah.
I walked to Lincoln Plaza all the time,
Yeah.
but I can't do that anymore.
No.
I said to the doctor, should I walk more? He said, no, don't aggravate
But is it
arthritis.
yeah.
Just keep moving enough so it doesn't...
Yeah.
You can't sit down and sit when you get arthritis.
Yeah, gee.
It gets stiff awfully.
Yeah.
But
Well, who else besides Geraldine do you think
can't
we
talk
might
about
talk
him.
to?
well,
Now, they was Elvin's cousin. You know Velma Carlson?
yes, good. I thought of her the other day.
Yeah.
I have not. There was a spell when she and I talked a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't talked to her in years.
Well, Rena tried to call her.
Yeah. Evelyn and I stopped there at the end of January, had a lovely visit with her. She recited poetry. She's blind, you know.
Velma, yes.
Yes.
Yes, she told me you had been there.
Yeah.
And I call her once in a while because she can't dial, so
Yeah.
she's so glad when I call. She'll talk for a whole hour or something.
Oh, yeah.
She something?
She said you'd been there, yes. Now she's had to move downstairs, she said, and have her...
But you know what she told us?
No.
When nobody's around, she locks the door and goes upstairs to get what she wants.
No.
So nobody knows it.
So then she goes downstairs and unlocks the door.
Ah, boy.
She's a character.
Well, we're going to try to see her if we can when we're
Yeah.
here, you know. And, I've never heard her recite poetry. Have you?
I ran...
Have you heard her reciting poetry? She writes poetry and recites it.
I know she has.
Yes, she
I
has.
have one thing that I happened to see in a paper, and it said by Velma Carlson, so I
Yeah.
cut that out.
She has a book all published in her own poetry.
She said, I'm going to, twice when I've talked to her, she said, when the girl comes Friday, I'm going to have her put a bunch of these in an envelope, and she'll put your address on it and send it, but she forgets it, I suppose.
Yeah.
She's getting old.
Oh,
How
yeah.
old is she?
She is 90. Oh, she said 92.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think so.
Yeah.
She's
But-
past 90.
yeah, we had her on our calendar.
Oh, yes, I
Couple
was
years
going to say, her
yeah.
name is on the calendar.
Yeah. How old are you?
88.
88.
Yeah.
Gee, you only have to wait 2 years and you get on the calendar.
Yes, right.
Well,
It's
okay.
so fun to look. I never throw away those calendars.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got 4 now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good.
Every once in a while I look at them. It's fun to.
Yeah, we're
see
getting
them.
ready to start working on the next one. It's a
Yeah.
lot of. You've got the last one with. I don't know.
Yeah,
Velma
I
was
got the
on
95.
the one. Yeah, the one with the songs on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Did you by any chance? Did you get the tape, video, not videotape, audio tape
No.
for those songs? Well, we've got one with us here somewhere.
Oh,
And of course, we're selling both the calendars and the tapes.
oh,
to,
I
to
see.
raise money to finish the restoration.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then this summer we're going to do another calendar. And maybe we'll even do another tape if we get around
Because
to it.
Ruth Carlson is another one that I keep in contact with up in Maine.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hilma was very close
Oh,
to
sure,
me
I
when
know.
she was
Yeah.
here.
Did
Yeah.
you know Earl died? Did you know Earl Pearson died?
Who?
Remember Earl Pearson?
Oh, yeah, he passed away
Yeah,
too.
just
I had a long letter from Hilma
Yeah, Mabel did too.
Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because I wrote, well, she called me and told me that Earl had passed away. Then I wrote to her
Oh,
and
yeah.
asked her if she felt like driving down here to come and spend some time with me, because her sister's right down Greendale, you know.
Yeah.
So, but when she wrote back, she said she didn't feel like driving that far.
Where is Eileen, in the nursing home?
Yeah, she's at the Oddfellows home in
Oh, she is.
Randolph Road. Yeah.
I like-
Who's Eileen?
I remember I told you about Dahlbergs, those were actually used to live. Yeah, they were friends of Granny's.
Yeah, I guess so. Were they from up there?
Yeah, Dahlbergs were, and Eileen was,
Well, it was a different Dahlberg, wasn't it, than Pastor Dahlberg?
yes, yeah. I don't think they were related.
Nicolina and Gustav Dahlberg
Oh,
were the parents of
Hel-
Eileen.
Eileen and Helma.
And Algot. She
Yeah.
had a brother.
oh,
No, Freddie was Helma's brother.
Yeah, Algot and Eileen were by the first marriage.
Yes.
And then the second one was Hilma and Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh, now, and they live near here? Around Worcester?
Eileen's in the nursing home here in Worcester.
Yeah.
The oldest
Eileen's
one.
in the nursing home, yeah.
Eileen is, Helma's up in Maine.
Yes, Freedom
Yeah.
name.
Oh. Really nice.
So her son is in the Netherlands,
Oh, yeah.
and his
Ronnie.
wife,
Ronnie?
Ronnie, yeah. And he came for the funeral, I guess,
Yeah.
because she said in her letter, they want her to fly to the Netherlands and meet them, and they will all go to Sweden. And
Ah.
they'll be home in the States by the 1st of July. So I'm thinking about doing that, she said.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write and tell her, for heaven's sakes, if you're able to go, go.
Eileen, should we
she's-
talk to her too?
Well, she wasn't up here much. Eileen, was she in New Sweden very much?
Hilma wasn't very big when she moved away.
No, and Eileen was,
Eileen left up there, and when she was in New York, I
she was
think,
there a long time.
and did housework, yeah, a
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think,
I don't think she'd remember people.
I think Hilma was around 14 or so when they left New Sweden and moved to Oxford.
I'd say about that.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh, yeah.
she was too old.
Well, she might remember something there, but...
Well, Hilma,
Huh?
well, Hilma we won't get to see, but Eileen we
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, maybe. Well, okay, let me ask you, who else now, maybe we should try to see. You've got Geraldine and,
Hilma.
And Velma.
and Velma, maybe Eileen, but who else do you think of around here?
Geraldine, did you have her down? Geraldine?
Yeah, I said Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine and...
Not too many
no,
Swedes from Maine left around here, huh?
this is it.
I guess.
And you know that there isn't a soul left up in New Sweden that I grew up with? They're
Yes,
all gone.
I suppose, huh?
Beda Spooner was
Yeah, she was the last of the New
one,
Sweden,
and she
Madawaska
passed away
girls.
before Christmas.
You're the last of the Madawaska girls.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody in my family lived as long as I am.
Oh, is that right?
No.
Oh,
Grandma, she was 91. She was the only one that lived.
oh yeah.
Otherwise, they were all gone at 80.
Now, was that Carolina? Or was that,
No, Martha
Yeah,
was my grandmother.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tell us a little bit more about what you remember from your parents and grandparents and
Oh.
and going back to Sweden even, you know, because you visited them over there too.
Yes, I did.
What do you
and,
remember about, or did you
and
learn
they
about
were
Sweden?
Here, and
Yeah.
one of my cousins has died since they visited me here. I
Oh,
had a letter 2 weeks ago.
oh, who was that?
Holger Eriksson,
Oh, really?
Holger and Stina,
Oh, yeah.
and John Eric, they had one son.
Oh,
They came here, and we took them to Niagara Falls, and we went up to Maine too. We stayed
Yeah.
in Olga's, Sammy's cottage,
yeah.
and visited with Clyde and Lena, and we weren't up there too many days.
Yeah. Now, where did they live in Sweden?
They lived in, those Swedish names, very near
was it-
Einar and Elsa.
Down near Orsina or in that area? It's somewhere near Klövsjö and...
Wait till I get my...
Well, geez, you don't have to jump up.
Average book.
Oh, you don't mind jumping up?
You know, it's awful. Excuse me, Rena.
Goodbye.
In Little Sved, Åsarna is
Yeah,
the
Åsarna,
address,
yeah.
And Einar and Elsa. Yeah, what's their last name now?
Sivertsen.
Sivertsen, yeah, yes.
Einar Sivertsen. Yeah, they're in,
Funny names, I can't
Yeah.
remember.
gee.
Svenstavik.
Yeah, Svenstavik, yeah. Have you been there to their place?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they've got a nice
When
place.
I went to Sweden, we went on a tour, of course.
Yeah.
And I wrote, through you, I found out I had a living cousin, you know,
Oh, yeah.
which I never knew.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wrote to that address, and then she had been put in a nursing home.
Yeah,
But
Did you ever get to see her?
Stina was the one that answered me
Oh, I see.
and said that she was in a nursing home, but they would love to see me.
Yeah.
And we had 2 nights to spend in not too far from there. It took us about half an hour to ride to her place. Anyway, I told them where we were going to be. So, right after we got in there in the evening, they were there, Stina and Holger, to pick me up.
Oh, yeah.
I went home with them and stayed overnight. And Sunday, she had her family over. She had quite a few sisters and brothers for forenoon coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And then we picked up Elsa and Einar, went out for smörgåsbord.
Oh, yeah.
And then they took me back. And that's all I saw of them, of course.
Yeah.
But
Are you related to Holger the same as the way as you are to Einar?
yeah, and I'm related to Stina same way. They
Oh.
were second cousins
Oh, I see.
when they got married.
Oh.
My mother had two sisters,
Ah.
and one was from one sister's side, and the other 2 were from the other sister.
Oh, no, let's see. I get confused. What were their okay, first of all, what was your mother's name?
Carolina Högström.
Yeah. And she had 2 sisters?
Her sisters were Maria and Lisa.
Uh-huh. Okay, now what
and
about...
one was 7 years older than she was, and the other one was 14 years older than she was.
Oh, gee.
And so,
Now, okay, which one of those sisters was related to who? Which was related, was that Einar's mother? One of them?
Einar's mother, I think,
Or was it?
Maria.
Uh-huh.
And somewhere in the desk I've got written down, one had 13 children, I think one had 15,
Oh, boy.
and my mother had 11.
Yeah.
So there were cousins
Lots
and
of cousins.
Big family.
But too many to keep track of.
Yeah.
I have a picture of my cousin that you visit. They have sent me a lot of pictures lately from Sweden.
Oh, yeah, well, isn't that nice?
She had 6 sons and no daughter,
Really?
the one that was in the nursing home.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, at that time, she looked great when I saw her. Well, she wasn't that old at that point. But all the pictures of her in the nursing home, she is so thin and so she fell away to nothing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and Elsa and Einar have 5.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they have sent me pictures, and Einar's going to be 80 this month.
Oh, yeah.
In,
Have they talked about coming
April.
over anymore?
And what?
Have they talked about coming over anymore?
You know, he intended to come the summer after Charlie died.
Yeah.
And thought he could be of some help to me in the yard and like that. And then what was it? He broke his ankle or something happened to him. So they told me afterwards he had planned to come, and then this happened.
Gee.
But he loved it. He wanted to come back to the United States so
Yeah,
bad.
he really loved it here.
But she enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
And Sven, you know, Irving Goransson,
Oh, yeah.
was awfully nice. He came up here and took them around, took us to their house, because
Okay.
at that point Charlie wasn't driving.
Yeah, yeah.
And he got permission from his boss at Norton's to bring Einar down so he could see inside on Norton Company. And
Oh, boy.
the boss told him to take him on a tour. So
Oh.
I've got snapshots that they took inside.
Now, does Irving still work down here? Or live around
He
here?
is retired.
He is.
He called me just the other day. Isn't that funny? Once in a while we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And he's well. He said he keeps busy.
Where does he live? Does he live around here?
He lives in Millbury.
Oh, yeah.
And he said his wife isn't all that great. But they have one son in California.
Oh, yeah.
And they had been out there last year and spent some time with him, and the other one is near them in Millbury, so they see some of the grandchildren.
Now, Elton, he's in Florida most of the time. What's the other brother? You remember Irving? And
The what?
their other brother? Can't think of his name right
Didn't
offhand.
one pass away?
I was wondering, I don't know.
There were 4 of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Carl, the youngest one, is up in Kittery yet.
I think one died not too long ago. I wonder if he wasn't in New York State.
Yeah, could be.
There's nobody up here now except for Irving after
Now, have you heard
Alton.
anything about Alton's wife, Jeanette?
Jeanette.
Have you heard anything about her? She had a stroke just before they were going to have their 50th anniversary in Florida.
Oh yeah, I asked
And I
him.
haven't heard what happened
I
since.
said, how are they? Well, he said Jeanette hasn't been good, but he didn't say that it was any,
Oh, yeah.
grave danger, so she must have.
That's recently? Fairly
So she had a stroke. Huh?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Huh.
Well,
Was it a bad one or?
well, no, that I didn't know.
Oh.
Maybe it wasn't so bad. Yeah.
No,
I see them
he
once in a
didn't
while.
say that they were.
Yeah. Well, now we get back to Sweden again.
Oh yeah.
Now, this was your mother's relatives.
Yes.
How far back can you trace their branch of the family? Have you got you get that traced back very far at all?
Wilmer started
Yeah.
on a family tree.
Yeah.
And I still have some stuff here that he hasn't seen.
Oh.
But I don't know how far he got. I think he kind of gave up.
Oh, really? Yeah. But you have some more recent information then, probably, huh?
Well, I think I was able to get some things through Einar that Wilmer didn't have.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It's. But they did take me to see where my parents had lived. Stina and Holger were on the same road, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Only, the house was gone.
Was that near the lake? Do you remember?
Yes. Because I remember Mama used to talk about water near where they lived, you know. But I couldn't picture what. But now they showed me. And the house was on the side of the road that the water was.
Yeah.
But some distant relative has built on the other side of the road
Oh, yeah.
a great big house, but we didn't go in there. It was Sunday morning, and I don't know.
Now, that would have been Holger's parents that lived there before him, probably, would it? Or do you know? When I was over there that time, and I can't remember all the details, but this was the oldest relative around, and he had just died before I got there, and they just finished the funeral when I got there.
Oh.
But I think that was the same place, you know, on the lake.
Uh-huh.
Einar would know, but I can't remember the details now.
And Grammy and Grandpa, I don't know. Of course, they came to this country. Now, they didn't know that in Sweden. Isn't that funny?
That your father's...
My grandparents came to this country with my mother and father.
This is your father's...
They did?
Your
They
father's...
said we never knew that.
Osell's.
Yeah.
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 I never knew that. She was...
Yeah, so they lived at our house, Grammy and
Yeah.
Grampy, always.
Yeah, tell me about that. Now, what was their names, first of all?
Grandpa's name was Johan Olof Osell.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, now you tell me, where did the Osell name come from?
Well, I think it came from the Army.
He went in the Army.
Yeah.
And they could choose a name if it was Anderson, Johnson, or
Yeah,
there
or-
were too many of
The
those.
chances are they gave it to him.
And
but-
probably.
Yeah.
They gave it to him, yeah. Anyway, they spelled it with O.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
bring over to
Yeah.
Osell.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grandma's name was Märta Mortensdotter.
Yeah.
That's almost like the your oldest brother's wife.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nilsson.
From Iceland.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
yeah, they use that daughter, and the president of Iceland is a lady by the name of Dr. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Märta Mortensdottir.
Did you know anything about her parents at all?
No.
Mortensen?
I know absolutely nothing whether she had brothers or sisters or grandpa either.
Not the Grandpa Osell either. You didn't know anything about his parents.
No,
Yeah,
What was his name before they changed it?
nothing.
Do you know what his name was before they changed it?
Grandpa's name before they changed it Osell was Nilsson.
Nilsson. Uh-huh.
Now who told me that we were related to your mother's
Yeah. Well,
side of the family then?
of course, my morfar, mother's father, was Carl Nilsson, but he came from Västerbotten.
Oh,
But of course, there were a lot of Nilssons. Yeah, but the Osells and my mother's family were distantly related, I guess.
yes.
But also, well, yeah, not so distantly. See, Einar Sivertson, his father was brother to my mother's morfar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sivertson and Zachrisson.
Yeah?
I think that's right. It's all in the Klurvsjör book, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So that branch of the family in Klurvsjör we've got pretty good history on all the way back.
And then the way they changed their names was so confusing.
Yeah.
If, you know, the first son born was his father's name and added son to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the old
Which
system.
made it, I remember there were 4 men in Westmoreland that were brothers, and they all had different names.
Yeah, no, that's
My great-grandfather was that way.
Let,
There were 5 of them.
Ostorm,
Yeah, and that's my grandfather. My great-grandfather.
oh,
Left and Lindbergh and Hedström. No, they married into Hedström.
I remember that since I lived
And
up
and
there.
Lindbergh.
And
They said, oh, they were brothers, but they
Yeah.
all had different
Lindbergh and
names.
Olson. That was my great-grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, it's, oh, I talked to Corolla, too, once in a while.
Where are they now?
They're still in Northborough, but they've got to sell their house, I guess. You know, her oldest daughter has Alzheimer's.
Oh, no. It's
Oh.
Floyd's sister.
Now you got to remind me who's Corolla.
Jepson, Otto Jepson's
Oh.
daughter.
Yeah, Floyd's sister.
She is 55 years old.
Your daughter?
The daughter that's got Alzheimer's.
Oh, gee.
And she had a lot of trouble with her first husband. They separated and went back together, and I don't know, but finally he left her for another woman. And she remarried after a while. She married a professor from Worcester Tech, retired. He had taken early retirement at 62. And a man they like very much, I guess. He's very a religious person, Corolla said. And they hadn't been married. Well, they've been married 5 years. And well, she's been in since she's been in a year already, I think, in the nursing home. They noticed she was getting different, very advanced case of Alzheimer's.
See.
They said.
Bunny
And
still
Corolla says she's changed. You wouldn't know the girl. She said she was such a loving, happy-go-lucky girl. She'd hug you, she said, and she'd, don't come near me, don't touch me.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yes, she says she's changed.
Now, how about Corolla herself? How is she?
Oh, I think she's completely worn out.
Yeah.
Her husband isn't good at all. He had a stroke last
Bunny?
Oh,
spring.
gee.
Bunny?
Bunny, yeah. So he can no longer drive. Her eyes are bad. And this is the year she's got to take a test, and she says she knows she won't pass. I don't think she does much driving now. And so that's why she feels they've got to sell the house. And
How old is Corolla?
she wants to be near Laurie. She's in a nursing home now, where she's very handy to them, so she hasn't got far to drive to go see her.
Mm.
But she said they'd like to get an apartment, but I think they will end up with the other daughter, Linda. She lives right up here at the end of Bergquist Street. And they added on to their house to take in his mother and father when his mother got sick. But she finally passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So now the father has moved in and really lives with them, you know, gets his meals with them. And so they have the use of the whole house now, the apartment and all.
How old is Corolla?
How old?
Yeah.
Corolla is, Corolla and Hilma Pearson are just as old.
It'll be 80.
80, 81?
Got to be. Yeah.
Were there just the two of them, Corolla and
And
Floyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corolla and Floyd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be.
And the daughter and her husband drove them to New Sweden last summer, so they went when the other one got married.
Oh,
Floyd's other boy, you know.
Oh, Alan.
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 Yeah, Ellen.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
we were together for the first time, she said, the entire family, you know. The girl came home from Ohio with her family. And
Oh, I must
so
have.
it was so much fun, she said. And then on the way home, they stopped in Freedom and spent the night with Hilma and Earl. So that was the last time they saw him, too. Yeah, it's...
Hmm.
But when I think of what that poor Corolla went through, she had her mother and father. They both had Alzheimer's, I think. The father was bad off.
Oh, really? Now, what was his name?
Otto.
Otto, yeah.
Otto, yeah.
And he had Alzheimer's also?
Yeah, I'm sure. They didn't say
They didn't
that
call it
then,
that
you
then.
know, but he didn't know where he was or who he was. And her husband's father was very poorly. I don't know what he had, but he had a trailer right outside of the back hall on the driveway. Then they had an intercom.
Where was this?
Northborough.
Oh, yeah.
Westborough, I guess you
Yeah.
call it. That's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
border. And Bonnie laid on the floor nights in the back hall so he could hear the intercom if his father should call him. He had some trouble breathing or something. I don't remember what it was. Well, he died finally, and the mother died. Corolla's mother died. But Otto lived quite a while after that. But
Did they lived with the Corolla down here then?
Yeah.
That's where they died, huh, down
She
here.
took them down here. Well, Otto's mind went while he was in New Sweden.
Yeah.
Because I remember he took her to Soul Circle one day at the Baptist church.
Yeah.
And he went out to start the car, she thought. So she went outside and she stood there and she thought, that's funny, he didn't come around to pick her up, you know. Finally, some man said, what are you waiting for? She said, I'm waiting for Otto. He went out to start the car. He went home a long time ago.
Oh, gee. He forgot that she was there, huh?
Got her.
Yeah.
So this man drove her home, I guess, whoever drove. But Bundy used to say, oh, you could die. He never stopped for the stoplight crossing the main road.
Oh,
there
boy.
on the... Never. He said, it's amazing that he never got
Yeah,
hit.
see.
He'd always
Just go, huh?
consuming right through there.
What was Corolla's mother's name?
Hilma.
And she was, her maiden name? You probably told us already, but...
Oh, yes.
I don't think I ever heard it.
Oh, heavens. Gustafson.
But she was from New Sweden?
My brothers were Gustafsons.
Yeah, she was from New Sweden, wasn't she?
It must have been Gustafson.
Did you know her brothers then? Or anything about them? If she was a Gustafson.
Yeah, one was a Lutheran minister. Or was that nephews?
Was that Frank? Was it Frank Gustafson?
No, not Frank. One was an organist in our church. His name was Oscar. The oldest one was Torsten was the minister. Torsten. And Alan was the oldest. And Ernest. Ernest still lives up at the summit. I saw
Now
him.
these were Augustafsons
These are all Gustafsons.
from New Sweden.
They were born in New Sweden. But
Oh,
how long they lived up there, or how come they moved away, that I don't know, but they were born in New Sweden, all the boys.
you have no idea where they lived
Now,
up there, huh?
They must have been nephews of Mrs. Otto Jefferson. I can't picture them as being her brothers.
How about Bru Gustafson? Was that a different family
That
altogether?
was different,
Yeah.
yeah. He was from down, when I met Brewer Gustafson around Arlington somewhere the first time before
yeah.
he married Lily.
Yeah.
And he had a sister in Connecticut, I think, or
Oh.
relatives in Connecticut.
So he was from down country.
He was from down here somewhere.
Yeah. Wonder if he met her down here or up there.
Yeah, he met her down here.
Oh yeah.
Because he was there. She had a party one night. She and another girl worked for some wealthy family, you know. One was a cook and one was a chambermaid.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they had gone away on vacation,
Yeah.
and they had told them they could, if they wanted to have a party, it was all right. They
Oh,
could.
I see.
So Olga and I were invited over there.
Was that in Worcester here?
In Cambridge.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were living in Cambridge.
Oh, yeah.
I think they came from Arlington or something.
Yeah.
And we went over there this night, and that was the first time I met Brewer. She
Oh,
was
yeah.
going with him then.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
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 That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Gee whiz. But boy, she was a good cook, wasn't she?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah. She was a lot of fun, Lily.
Yeah.
We stayed at the lake. Hildur and Hope and Judith, Anna, Vera, and Frida Swanberg, and Olga and I. 8 of us.
Oh.
Had the biggest cottage at Mabel Larson's,
Oh, yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
And Lily and Hildur too, I suppose. I don't remember Hildur's one. They were staying in some cottage up there too. And she used to, "Goodbye, girls," she'd say, and she'd hold her nose and crawl under the wharf.
Well, Lily?
Yeah,
Yep.
oh, she had us crazy. We said, "Get out of there, don't die down there."
You thought she
And
was drowning,
she
huh?
would laugh. Oh, how she laughed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she was so funny. We had more fun with her.
Swanberg, you said?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
3 Swanberg girls.
Yeah.
Is only, you know, Frida is the only living Swanberg.
No, that's what I was wondering, if any of them were left. She is.
Frida's living
Where does she live?
in Chicago with one of the daughters.
My gosh.
And I have not seen her since they had a big party for her in one of the clubs down by the lake on her 85th birthday.
So,
She will now be 90, in June is her birthday.
90 this year?
June of this year she will be 90, let me see now, I'm 88, Holbert was 98, he was 10 years older than I was.
Oh.
And Anna was 2 years younger, 86, Vera 96 rather, Vera 94, 92. I think she will be 93 in June.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We got to get her on our calendar. Have you got her address?
Yes, I have somewhere because I had,
You haven't got it in your address
I
book there?
haven't thrown the cards away. I had a card after Charlie died
Yeah.
from Frida and her daughter, Rowena, where she's the
Yeah.
one she stays with.
Yeah.
And she used to come. Every summer she came. You see, one daughter lives here in Worcester that's married to the minister.
Oh.
And Marston, Ralph Marston.
Yeah, let's write
He's,
their name, and we can get
He's
information
a
through
minister.
them. You got any
Wait till
paper?
I get a
Here.
pad of paper.
Here, you
Yes.
can put it on here.
Yeah, what's the it? Anna Marston.
So this is Frida Swanberg's
Here, lay it on the book and it's easier to write for.
daughter. Now, what was Frida's, who was she married to?
Ick.
Oh, yeah.
Herman Ick.
Yeah.
From Stockholm.
Frida
And,
Swanberg.
When she was
Herman Eck.
90, and I'm sure that's 3 years ago, her son-in-law here, Ralph Marston, the church have a van.
Yeah.
And I think that was the one they used, or else he rented a big van, and the whole gang went out to Chicago to celebrate her birthday.
Really?
Yes, the grandchildren,
Yeah.
and of course she has over 20 grandchildren
Oh,
and
gee.
a slew of great-grandchildren.
She hasn't been back here for a long time then, huh?
Well, up to that point,
You want to answer here?
just say hello.
Hello. This is Harmon's. We're visiting. So who's this?
Cheryl.
Yeah. You want to talk to her? Just a
Cheryl,
second.
tell
Yeah,
her I'll
yeah.
call her back.
Well, you better say so. You can pass it. Okay.
Hi. I've got company. I'll call you back. You gonna be home? All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
That's my granddaughter.
Oh yeah.
Repeat so I get the right address and name.
Evelyn, please. The daughters.
June,
Yeah.
Anna, Norma, Rowena, and Hazel.
Okay. And Anna is the one that lives here,
Anna is the one that lives in Worcester.
married to Reverend.
Reverend Ralph Marsden.
Okay.
And we can probably look that up in the phone book as far as that goes.
Yeah, she's right down here off Bergquist Street.
Oh yeah.
And
So
June-
that would be the best one to get information on her mother anyway. What you know what we
Yes.
like to have is a little picture and a little biography to
Oh,
put
yeah.
to put in the calendar.
Yeah.
Frida was her mother.
Yeah, Frida was.
Frida.
Yeah, was her
Yeah.
mother.
Now who else? Was there only 3 girls in the Swanberg family?
Yeah.
But they had one or more boys.
Roy, Leon, Clifton, Gilbert, and Roland. 5.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they all moved
They're
from
all-
Maine, or they all gone
They
and
all were born in Maine and
then moved out.
came down here, yeah.
Have they got any descendants down here? I suppose they must have. Because just the other day we heard about a Swanberg down here somewhere, and I was wondering if that was the same family.
No, let me see now. Roy didn't have any children. Leon didn't have any children. Roland died when he was 18 years old. Gilbert had, I think 4. 2 boys and 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I know his oldest son lived in Florida because Gilbert was divorced from his wife, and his oldest son took him to Florida when they moved.
Oh, yeah.
And I never knew when Gilbert died. Nobody ever mentioned that. But when Anna died, his name wasn't listed in the obituary. It said she survived by 1 sister, Frida.
Oh, yeah.
And afterwards I began to think, gee, what happened
What
to
happened
Gilbert?
to Gilbert? Yeah.
And I haven't thought of it. I've talked to Anna Marston since, but she didn't say anything. But he probably was buried down there, you know. So,
So you don't know of any Swanbergs around here now?
no,
Then, but there
none.
might be one of Gilbert's sons might still be up here.
I don't know what happened to the second one at all.
Yeah.
They were in Connecticut. They
Oh.
weren't in Worcester.
I see.
They
Yeah.
lived in Connecticut. And what?
Do you remember Rena hearing? It seems to me it was just the other day we heard about a Swanberg.
Yeah, it was.
Every once in a while I see the name Swanberg in
Where
a
were
paper.
we?
Oh, where was it?
Where were we?
I don't know. But very recently. Well, anyway, I thought if there was a Swanberg around here, you'd probably know it
Yeah.
from back there.
No, I don't think there's any.
No, they were related to the Henry Anderson family too.
Yeah, Mrs. Swanberg and Mrs. Anderson were sisters.
So Mrs. Swanberg was daughter of Clausa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was her name?
Elizabeth, her name was.
Elizabeth. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
But she was born in this country, wasn't she?
She was the first child born in New Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that Clausa son, he was married to Newark's sister or something, but they never had any children, I think.
Oh,
Do you remember anything about them at all?
no, I don't. I don't remember it. I didn't know anybody beyond all the Anderson family.
You remember Lars Newark? Had the
Oh,
blacksmith
yes.
shop?
I do.
What do you remember about him?
Well, not much. I can remember seeing him, and
Yeah.
that's about all.
What did he look like?
Yeah, you got me.
Or what did he sound like?
That
You ever hear him
that I don't
have anything to say?
all remember. Hilma, she would have told you what Lars Noah and because they were
sure.
very close.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah. And what
Hilma
was his wife's name? now again?
Usland. Hilma Usland.
Anna.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think so, yeah. But they say he didn't have much use for automobiles or ministers or what else was it?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can remember them saying he predicted that New Sweden would in the 2000s look just like it did when the first settlers came up there. Everything would be woods again.
Oh, so Lars Newark said that?
Yep. Hilma used to say
Oh, yeah,
that. She
yeah.
said, Lars Noah always, because I said to Hilma once, you know, Clyde and Lena took me for a ride, and I said, we went up around West Road and Westmoreland. I said, I don't know what's the matter with people. You couldn't see the houses anymore. You could see the driveway.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was all trees.
Oh,
And she just said, yeah, it'll be like Lars Noah used to say.
Gee.
Everything would go back to woods again.
And then somebody else way back there predicted that in 1,000 years, New Sweden's going to be a bigger place than New York City.
Oh!
They got a long way to go.
I think Lars Newark was closer to right, huh?
Well, I think right now New Sweden is getting to be known far and wide.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
becoming quite well known.
Right.
And now last week we had the top Swedish immigration expert in the world up there last weekend.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the Republican.
Bayboom. And last fall we had another one of the real top people from Sweden over here, Olofsson.
Huh.
Isaacson, yeah. Olof Isaacson.
Oh.
And yeah, so you know, we're getting a lot of visitors from Sweden. And
Yeah.
it's becoming quite well known.
Huh.
And now
Einar was so impressed about New Sweden. He
Oh.
got up in the morning to Clyde's, and when we got up, he wasn't around.
oh,
And Clyde said to me, where did Einar go? He's not in his bed.
he's out walking
I
around.
said, I don't know. He had taken off up the road and went into the woods
What?
and way up on Clyde's farm
Yeah.
and then came down behind the barn there on farm, soaked right up to here. You see, that was early in the spring,
Oh yeah,
April or May we were
Oh.
up there.
yeah.
He was drenched. Oh boy, he said, was that fun.
Einar Sivertsen from
Oh,
Sweden. Yeah.
yeah. He said it reminded him of Sweden.
Yeah.
My mother always said that. She very seldom mentioned Sweden, but I can remember saying once, weren't you homesick when you came from Sweden, leaving everybody behind, you
Yeah,
know, except the family?
Yeah.
She said no, because when she got to New Sweden, the scenery, the area was just like Jämtland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she wasn't homesick.
So she felt at home.
Did she ever feel like she would like to go back to Sweden?
No.
No?
I don't think she
Or your father
ever-
either?
No.
Or
I
your
don't think they ever did. I think they felt once they got settled and going here, they
Yeah.
made a better living than.
Yeah, well, they did very well in New Sweden.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Papa had a sawmill, you
Sure.
know, and
How about your grandparents? I wonder if they ever felt like they wanted to go back.
I don't know.
What do you remember about your grandparents?
To tell the truth,
You remember your grandfather?
Grandpa, I don't remember. I remember his funeral.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it funny how something, I suppose that was probably the first funeral. I was 3.
Oh yeah.
But I
Was that in the church or at the farm?
It was at home on
Yeah.
the farm, you know.
Yeah.
And I can remember so well. I crawled under the kitchen table.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Ellen Larson Johnson from East Road.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, she was quite a bit older than I was.
Oh yeah.
She was coaxing me to come out. She was going to
Oh.
hold me, I guess.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah.
Papa and Grandpa died 3 years apart to the day.
Really?
Yeah.
She was.
Yeah, he died first and Papa died 3 years later.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then, but Grammy Osell lived a long time after that. Huh? Didn't
No, she knit for everybody, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that.
She was up to Mrs. Week, then she was up to Olanders.
Oh, did she go and stay with them while she was knitting?
She'd stay for weeks at a time and knit dozens of pairs of stockings for the winter.
She was. Oh.
I can never remember my grandmother doing anything but knitting and spinning.
Oh.
I can still hear that, and she was feeding that spinning wheel.
Yeah.
I went to Sturbridge village once, and somebody was spinning, and I stood there and looked, and I said, boy, that takes me back a long time. So the woman started talking to me. I said, my grandmother used to, had a spinning wheel, used to spin. Oh, she thought that was wonderful, that I had memory of something like that.
Now, did you ever do it yourself? Did you ever try spinning?
No, I never tried.
No.
Weaving rugs, I did up the Petersons. Grammy Peterson had a loom.
A big loom, yeah.
And then she set up once, and she told me if I wanted to get some rags ready, I could make a few yards of rug too. That was fun.
What Peterson was that?
Earl Oscar Peterson's in Westmoreland. You know Otis Peterson.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I was married to his brother, Earl.
Okay, all right. That's,
and we're Carolyn and
they're cousins of mine through the
her
storms.
husband bought the place afterwards.
Yeah, we're related through the storms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because you know who calls me once in a while? That's another person. When we first came to Worcester and lived on Everard Street for a year and a half, Elgit Anderson's boys from Westmoreland came to see us because every time Dr. Harmon came down, he wanted to visit Elgit Anderson. That was his fishing pal, you know.
Oh, I see.
So we always had to drive him out to Medway to visit. And the two boys came to see us. They must have found their way in by bus alone, I guess, when we lived on Everard Street. So after we'd eaten our supper, we said we'd drive them home. Because they remembered Beverly and all, but she was 6 then. And but after Dr. Harmon died, we just never got around to go to Medway anymore.
Now, where is Medway?
It's not too far.
Not too far from here?
Beyond Framingham, up.
Oh.
It's not far from here at all.
Yeah.
But she came to one of our reunions at our church.
Oh, Mrs. Elgit?
Helen, yeah.
Mrs. Elgit Anderson.
Elgit and the son and his wife brought her, Wilton. And so I got a letter from him after Charlie died. Now, I don't know how many years have gone by that I had no idea where he was or anything. And he had read in the Worcester paper, the Sunday paper, that Charlie had died. So he wrote me. So since then, we correspond all the time.
Really? It's one of Elgit's sons?
Yes, the youngest one. The older one lives in California.
Have you got his name and address and telephone in your book there?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we ought to get that too. We're trying to track down all the old descendants of the old residents, you know.
This is Elgit's son now. What's his name?
Yeah, Wilton's address is 7 Hammond Street, Hopedale, Mass.
Yeah.
I think I got his telephone number on it.
We ought to have a copy of your address book there. We've probably got a lot of good names and addresses in there.
His first name was Wilton?
Wilton Anderson, son of Elgit Anderson.
Hopedale. That's just down the road.
Not too far?
Am I thinking of the wrong town?
It's hard to write if you haven't got something to hold underneath.
Where is Hopedale? I was thinking Oakdale. Where's Hopedale?
Hopedale is, that's not far. Hopedale isn't far out either. Oh, what route is it we used to take?
Well, we can find that on the map for sure.
Yeah, it's on the...
Boy, you got a nice telephone directory, huh?
Beverly came with that one day. I used to have a book, you know.
Yeah. I had a telephone and address book, just like you have on the table there. It was my mother's, and I'd been carrying it around and using that.
Oh.
And then sometime in the last month or so I lost it, and I don't know where. I hope it'll turn up, but...
Oh, I haven't got his telephone number.
But we can get it from the operator.
I thought I had it somewhere. He just had twin grandsons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
His son had twin boys. I think now they are just about a year.
Oh, yeah.
So since they were born, they've been so busy
Oh, yeah.
helping her, you know. And
Yeah.
the last letter I had from him, he said, 2 days a week we take care of them. She evidently has gone back to work.
Oh, yeah.
Now whether they go, they lived in Connecticut, I believe, but not too far down.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I suppose Mrs. Algot Anderson has died too since...
Yes,
Yeah,
you know, she was 95, I think. I
Is that
don't know,
right?
but she lived so long, and I never knew when she died. I never,
Yeah.
whether it was in the Republican, perhaps I didn't have it at that time, I don't know. But I asked Wilton once, I said, she lived a long time, didn't she? Yeah, I think she said he said 95.
Oh, gee whiz. Yeah. Now, she came to one of the reunions, huh?
Yes, she
Down
did.
here in Greendale, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have those anymore.
No. And we don't have any main get-togethers either.
No,
We
gee.
haven't had that for years.
Ought to get to that going again. If I was down there, I'd
That was
get
fun.
it going. Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. That was.
But it got to a point where nobody wanted to
Nobody wanted to take charge and
take charge,
organize it. That's the
no.
trouble.
I
Yeah.
had it so many times that I said to them, no, there are younger ones that
Yeah.
can take over, and
Yeah.
but they never seemed to.
Now, where was Mrs. Algot Anderson from? Do you know, in New Sweden? Was she down from Madawaska?
She was my
Road?
neighbor. Yeah, Lindgren.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
What was her name?
You know, Helen Lindgren.
Helen Lindgren, yeah.
Yeah. You know where your grandparents
Yeah.
lived, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, just a little below that on the
Across
other
the
side
road.
of the road. And a long driveway. The
Oh.
last time Clyde took me down on that road, we couldn't find that driveway. It's all
Oh.
road.
She.
But I said it was right here.
Yeah.
And then we came, Clyde drives the school bus, you know, so
Yeah.
he goes down on that road.
Oh, he does. He goes
Yes,
down to pick
he
up.
turns at, I think your old place there is the last child he picks up.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And I said to him, so he knew that my home was there, but he wasn't sure. He thought it was Nygren's driveway
Oh.
next door. And
Yeah.
I said, no, not that one, it's the next one. But there were big signs, beware of the dog, do not enter.
Oh, yeah.
But we drove up with the car part way. But I said, no, let's get out of here. Because the house is gone, the trailer is gone that was there at one time.
Yeah, that's Lindgren's you're talking about.
This was not
Oh, your
at my
place. Oh, yeah, your
old
place. Yeah, okay.
And there's nothing at Lindgren's. That's
No.
was the house and everything was
So
gone.
they were below Nygren's, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Nygren's were right
Nygren's,
next
and
to
then
the...
it was Axel Anderson's, and then Lindgren's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Nygren was before Axel Anderson, is that right?
below it. You remember where Larson's, Andrew Larson's, the last house on the road?
Yeah, on the other side there.
Up on the nose,
Yeah.
on the left. Well, Lindgren's was next to that,
Just before that.
just before it.
And before that was Nygren's.
And then it was Axel Anderson's, and then Nygren's, and then ours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And on the other side, where Carl Nilsson was, and below that, that was the last one on that
Olson's,
side.
that was
Oh,
Olson's. Edward Olson, Maria.
yeah.
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 Now they were related to my mother's sister's husband. Two.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
Yeah. How was that now again? So we were distantly related to the Olsen girls, Lily and Vera. And
Oh. Yeah, tell me more about the Olsons, because I got such a poor memory. What were the parents' names?
Maria and Olof Olsen.
Yeah, and their parents weren't over here.
No, not that I can ever remember. No.
But
And they had a son by the name of Olof, but he evidently died as a child. I only saw pictures of him.
Oh, yeah.
Then they had 3 girls, Anna, Lily, and Vera. And then Edward.
Yeah.
He was the youngest of the family.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all gone. And
Yeah. Anna was married to...
Andy Andenberg. She lived in Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's where she died from the flu during World War I.
Oh, I see, yeah. Because Edward Jr., visits that family down there in Alabama
yes.
sometimes. I guess
Yeah.
there's still relatives there.
I think Frances did too
Probably.
when she goes to visit her sister in Florida.
Yeah.
And she visits.
So that was Lily's family. Was married to Edward Olson. Is that right? No, wait a minute. No. Married to...
Anna. That was Anna Olsen Anderberg.
Yeah.
Lily was married to Arthur Anderson.
Arthur Anderson was
They
what I was trying to
adopted
get.
a girl once, but
Yeah.
I don't know what became of her. I never heard of her after she left up there. And of course, Vera had 3,
Yeah.
2 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
One of her girls lives in Leicester.
Oh.
No, she's moved now. She's in Florida. That's right.
Were they both in
Thelma.
Florida?
She lives in Florida. Thelma.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, what the heck was her husband's name? And the son is a minister.
Can't believe it.
I couldn't either. I was never so shocked in
What's
my
his name
life
now?
as-
Let's see. What is his name?
Francis, Thelma, and
I know what they used to call him, but I can't think what his name is.
what the heck was his name?
Talking,
Huh?
Nelson,
Francis Nilsson's brother.
Lawrence.
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 And he's a minister?
No,
Is
no,
he?
no, is he? Lives in Leicester. He lives over here in Leicester.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was a minister.
Yes.
He was the one Francis said wanted to ride up sometime this year.
Or is it his son that's a
That's
minister?
more like it.
That could be.
That could be that it's his son. I know there's a Lutheran minister, I think, is
Oh.
what they said.
You know, gee, we'll have to ask Francis about that sometime.
Now, Francis is still in New Sweden, isn't it?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
took over Edward's house.
Yeah. We were just in there the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
That's
even
where-
know where it is.
That's where we heard the Swanberg.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, it's right beside the Anderson store down in New Sweden Station.
Yeah, there's a new little store down in there now, behind
really?
that house. Yeah, in behind there, one of the Anderson
I
boys.
don't even know where Francis's house is.
Well, you know where her.
There's so many little new houses popped up
Yeah.
on that street there that...
Well, it's gee,
Second house
it's
in
just
it.
out the road a little bit there on the right, where Edward used to live.
I was
Uh,
asking
Wilson.
Clyde when he was driving me around, because where I went to school, there's a house there where the schoolhouse was.
Oh,
on
yeah.
the corner.
Yeah.
And there were houses across the street where there was a pasture.
Yeah. Oh, it's really
Yes.
changed.
A lot of the streets and the Zetterman's
Yeah.
grandchildren have built up.
And August Nilsson's place is all grown up.
It is, huh?
You remember that across from the school?
Yes.
That used to be.
I can remember his mother and father so well.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yes, Anders Nilsson. You know, he was a funny little old man. And he looked dirty. It looked like he was always dirty, his hands.
Yeah.
And you know, he had those lemon drops candy
Oh, yeah.
in his pants pocket.
Oh,
Right in his pants pocket,
Oh,
no
yeah.
bag.
yeah.
And he'd always come out to the road when we were going home from school
Oh,
and give us, oh, we thought they were great, you know, it was candy. We didn't get that too often.
oh, yeah.
When I think of that, boy, I bet they were so dirty.
Well, it's a good clean potato dirt, probably. Now that was August's father.
Yes.
Anders?
And she was such a sweet old lady. Beautiful woman.
Sure.
Oh, Mrs. Anders Nilsson, yeah. I can still see her.
Hmm. Did they have any other relatives besides that one son?
Yes.
this-
One was married to Pastor Whedon, Anna.
Oh, that was their daughter?
Yes, yes.
Oh, she was.
And I wonder if they didn't have another one too. But I remember her because Frank and Louise had the nicest little picture of Lindley
Yeah,
Whedon.
yeah.
His grandmother is sitting knitting, and he's sitting on the floor beside her, and you can see this big ball of yarn he's playing with, and there's a cap. It was just like a portrait. It was
Who's got that picture?
Frank and Louise had one, because they lived
Yeah.
right next door, you know, up a little ways over on the road.
Yeah.
And they were very...
I wonder what happened to their stuff. That'd be interesting to find that picture. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
I never made that connection or never knew it. Of course, Lindley is still around, and he comes
Yeah.
up once in a while.
Huh.
So Anna was his mother.
Yeah.
Hmm. So that's interesting. So I'm wondering now why it was that he didn't get the farm out there or something. 'Cause I didn't know that there was another descendant besides August.
Oh. I wonder who
But,
owns that
well,
property now?
August gave it, I guess, to his housekeeper, you know.
Yeah, Catherine.
Yeah.
Yes, and she in
And-
turn, now, we had a member in our church, well, she's still living, Grace Hansen. She was related to Catherine Hansen. Well, that was her aunt. Catherine Hansen was her aunt.
Oh,
So they used to go up to New Sweden.
oh. And
Well,
she's
her
still here
husband-
in your church?
Yeah, her
What's her-
husband just died a year ago.
Oh, and what's her name?
Grace and...
Is that her married name, Hanson? Or-
Yeah, Hansen was her married name, yeah. And it was his relative, right, Catherine Hansen. And then Bud and Lorraine were telling me, because when I went up 2 years ago, this guy was playing violin on the stage.
Yeah, that's Steve Moody.
And, oh yeah, and I said, I didn't know who that was. Well, Buddy said, he's a nephew of Catherine Hansen.
Yeah, so he owns that farm now.
Oh, he's
Well,
the
he
one
and
that
he and
owns
his
it.
brother, I
And
think.
they bought Dora Litz's house
right,
next door
yeah.
to Bud and Lorraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ah.
interesting.
I said, it's fun. But I have not seen Grace since, because I haven't been to church, to tell her that he lives next door to my nephew.
Now, I think Steve Moody's father just died, wasn't it?
Yes,
Oh,
So-
yeah?
about a month ago.
So that would be, and Steve Moody's mother must have been a Hanson then,
Probably.
I suppose.
Uh-huh.
Would probably be a sister to this Hanson down
They
here
were
and to
from
Catherine.
Gardner.
Oh, they were. I never did know how it happened that
What?
Catherine Hanson went up there to, I guess she went up to keep house for August Nelson, probably. Well, we probably ought to be going
And,
back, huh?
Falks was another big family, and the Sandströms,
Oh, yeah.
everyone is gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Folks and still a few left. Two girls were
From where?
the Folks.
Yeah,
Ina Falk is still living.
Ina. She's still in Shrewsbury.
Yes, and her sister's up in Maine someplace.
No, she's in New York State, in New York City.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh.
oldest one.
Oh, yeah.
Arlene died. She lived in Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Ina's very dead off.
I know she was up there.
She had cancer of the. She, my daughter-in-law is a dental hygienist, and she goes to that dentist. The whole family
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Oh, she said, Evie, you wouldn't know her if you saw her.
Gee.
They had removed her jawbone on one side of her face, all her teeth on that side and right down her throat and then out to the arm and
Gee.
she said they'd cut away half of her.
Did she
And-
ever remarry?
She had cancer of the throat.
Yeah,
She
that's
was a
right.
chain smoker, 4 packs a day.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's funny. And yet they won't, nobody else will quit even though
No,
it's,
no, I won't quit.
know these things. It's a funny thing that
Well, gee, we could talk to you all night here.
Where
But-
is Chicky
it
now?
goes from one thing to the
Yeah.
other.
Where is Chicky now?
In Las Vegas.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he lives out there?
He's in air conditioning. He
Oh,
works for an air conditioning.
yeah. And how about Roger? Where's Roger?
Also, Osell,
Osell, yeah.
he lives in Arlington.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Lexington, rather.
Lexington? I haven't seen him for a long time
He
either.
came to Charlie's memorial
Oh, yeah.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't seen him since. I said the other day, oh, I should write and tell him to come out sometime and visit. I hadn't seen his son since he was probably 4 years old,
Yeah.
until he came with his father to Anna's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, if I had seen him in a million, I would have known who it was.
Is that
Because
right?
he was identical to his father and Hobart.
Oh, really?
It's funny, yeah. That's our old family picture, you know.
Oh,
Before us
back
4
here,
girls
huh?
were born.
Back here?
Yeah. Now
Oh, yeah.
Hobart is standing there leaning on Papa's lap.
Oh, yeah.
And
Can you get a picture
See
of
if I
her?
can get a picture
Roger
of that. Right there.
looks
What she needs for information. I can do that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I imagine Geraldine's up at the nursing home probably,
Yeah.
and Vilma doesn't answer.
No?
Okay, let's see this. This battery's half run down. The other one is down, so.